In the previous video modules, we learned about what mass customization is. We learned about the case of Reflect.com and some other examples. And hopefully you now have a better understanding of the three capabilities of a mass customization system. Now let's talk about the most difficult, perhaps, implementing a mass customization system in an established business. And this also allows us the opportunity to conclude and summarize a little bit this module. As I really have to start with the last word of warning. Remember how I told you how Levi's original spin, this offering of the customized jeans, inspired me to study mass customization? It's probably the reason why I'm standing nowadays here. And not I just liked it in getting my custom-made jeans. Also, Wall Street Journal liked it, and a lot of analysts. And in times when Levi's was not doing so well, they were saying that this is the one bright spot in its entire financial picture, its custom clothing operation, which is growing meteorically. Really think it should account for 25% of its business in 2004, was written in June 2000. Well, after 10 years of experimentation, Levi Strauss determined and stopped the program. And what was behind? Well, the reasons for the unsuccess of Levi's personal spin, and these are my personal observations, and I don't know if it's true, but for me it really looked that it remained a pilot for PR purposes for 10 years. And it really missed the critical point to scale up the system. And this actually is the status of a lot of mass customization in large operations. It always is a pilot. And always there are reasons to say, oh, we have to learn more and it's a small niche and so on. But then better stop to doing it in the first place. As mass customization is not so easily executed in an established company. So learn for it, experiment with a pilot, but then make the decision to really scale it up and take it serious or stop it. And also that was obvious for me that in Levi's personal spin there was a lack of a real business model. There was no really stable interaction system, no good toolkit helping me to explore my jeans taste. No help of consultancy, rather high complexity. No gathering of feedback, no knowledge transfer from customization to mass production, as it was always seen as this PR gimmick. And probably this was the reason as there was a lack of top management support. It was considered as a marketing oddity, but not really as a business model. And then finally, perhaps it's correct to close it. And there's a very similar study, I'm sadly to say, for Reflect.com, which was executed in a much better way, with higher investment and higher complexity. But also here P&G had to realize, well, customization per se is not providing a value. And after 4 or 5 years in operation, it also was determined, despite large customer success. So it was really a very successful e-commerce site. But they realized it's really a complex sales system. For these high-end cosmetics, a pure online model did not work, at least at this time. Nowadays, 10 years later, it may be differently. It also was a too high price point for a non-brand. And the idea, if you remember the story, was that P&G wanted to expedite a little bit the time to really launch a top cosmetic brand. But they realized just having customization is not enough. We still have to invest millions, perhaps even billions, into marketing. And they did not utilize the existing established brands, which both were known to customers, but also could have provided a point of trust and reference and orientation to the consumer. And because it was a standalone operation, as this was so different from how you normally run the business, it was really a business model innovation. And it was created in a spin-off. And this is exactly what theory would teach you. But because of the spin-off operation, this learning transfer, this market research, which I outlined as the opportunity earlier, was not really coming too much into consideration. And again, these are my personal observations and not facts shared by P&G. But there was probably too little feedback to the established brands that the overall business case did not make too much sense. So I would say And this is really to remember, customization per se provides no benefits. It's the integration that is crucial. And still, if you're in a high-end cosmetic company, customers want the experience of a sales counter. They want a nice branding proposition, and customization requires this as every other business as well. And so my advice is, if you set up a mass customization program, really don't forget the mass and mass customization. Think about it in scaling it up. As otherwise, if it will remain a niche, you will mimic a craft system, and then it really will not be profitable. So in a large company, this means to get top management support. You may start bottom up, and a lot of mass customization pilots are started bottom up. That it has to be executed top down. The other alternative is, of course, that you become the top management by launching your own mass customization startup. And this is why I really like the field so much, as all the innovation in mass customization is driven by innovative startups, often created by lead users out of their own demand. But often, many of these startups, they don't really ask that critical question, what is really the job we are providing? What is really the solution space we should set up? And also for the startup, it's true. Customization per se, in most instances, provides no additional value. So overall, I would say mass customization is not a technology or strategy, but it's really a mindset. And these three capabilities should help you to understand the mindset you have to develop for mass customization. With this, my final words. Really, the idea of this model was to teach you heterogeneity of needs is not a threat, but an extraordinary profit opportunity. Let's benefit from the fact that all people are different, and not meaning that we serve them all the same, but we have to do it in a clever way. And hopefully this and the previous video modules gave you some ideas of how to establish a mass customization system. With this, I'm Frank Piller, and I'm looking forward to continuous interaction with you.